Hey everyone, today we're taking a look at page 26 in your lesson book. If I remember correctly from last week, the lesson book started talking about second position, but cellos and violas kind of were off the hook. You didn't have to do as much second position as the violins. Well, today you're going to have to do it. And as we talked about last week, there are some really important times when you might have to use second position. You don't use it often, but when you need to know how to do it, it's important to know how. We kind of talked about one of the best ways to think about second position or think about these shifts is am I shifting a whole step or a half step? And again, on this page, I think they've been pretty nice and all of your shifts are just half step shifts, but we will always check to make sure before we play. So taking a look at number 106, everyone is going to shift to second position on the third note. So we are in the key of F. So we have F natural. So we have F natural, E, up to an F natural. So that is a half step shift. Okay, so here we go with 106. Sorry. Good. So sorry I had that little goof there. But hopefully you saw it's not a big shift at all. So here's my E. Here's my F. I didn't go quite enough that time. Here's my E. It's barely a shift at all. Okay. So don't overestimate how far it's supposed to be, or you'll be basically in third position. Okay. So 107 now we have F sharps, which means that our starting point for second position, here's our E. Instead of being here for F natural, it's going to be here for F sharp. So it is a little bit bigger of a shift with your first finger. But to get to second position, you can see, and cellos, you actually go to third extended. So it is different for you, but everyone, if you're going to second, you have a half step shift because you're going E, F sharp, and then move your second finger to G. And then the next thing you should do is put your first finger right under your second finger to make that F sharp. Okay, again, a little bit different for the cellos, and they've marked it really clearly for you there. So here we go, 107. Good. All right. The next one here, we're in the key. This is number 108 in the key of E flat major. So now we have B flats, E flats, and A flats. That means most importantly, we cannot play our open A string. I'm saying most importantly because I'm looking at the notes that we have there, and there are some A's. So we have to remember we can't play our open A string. For the shift, cellos, you shift a little bit before us and you go to third position. Violins and violas, we shift on the fourth note, and you can see again, it's another half step shift. So we're going from three finger G up to a half step to three finger A flat. And again, for this one, our first finger will be in the F natural second position. It's kind of strange with second position. There's two different spots that your first finger could go, but we just always have to make sure we know which place it's going. Okay, so here's 108. Moving to 109, back in the key of F, F major, so just B flats here. violins and violas, we go to second position in the third measure. And again, there's another half step shift. We go from four finger A, us up a little bit with our pinky, to four finger B flat. So this is a fourth finger shift this time. Cellos, you're going to fourth position in the second measure. So 1, 2, 3, 4. Tiny shift here. Awesome. Okay, 110. This is another one where everyone gets to go to second. So cellos, you get to do it too. So we are in the key of B flat. So we have B flats and E flats. We start with a B flat on the G string, and then A flat, and then here's our shift. It's a half step shift again. So B flat, A, and then up with our first finger, a half step to another B flat there. So here we go. 110. On here to 111. 111 is in the key of A minor, it looks like. And again, cellos, you escape second position, you go to third. Violins and violas, half step shift from our second finger B natural this time to a B to a C natural. So just a little half step with our second finger. And then again, like we did in the key of G when we had the F sharps, put your first finger right next to your second finger, because that will be a half step for the B natural. Okay, so here we go, 111. Good. Okay, 112. This would be tough even if it was just in first position. This is in the key of A flat major. We have B flats, E flats, A flats, and D flats. So one of the things that makes this tough is that if you're a violin, 3 of your strings are off limits of your open strings, right? E, A, and D. If you're a viola or a cello, 2 of your strings are off limits, your E and your A. So that makes it a little bit more challenging. And then we're going to throw in some shifting on top of that. So cellos, you get to go to third position. Violins and violas, again, another half step shift for us from 1, 2, 3, up a half step with our third finger to that note, which is going to be D flat, a note that you probably don't play very often, but we'll get to play it now. Here we go, 112, starting, by the way, for everyone with a low 1 because it's an A flat. Sorry, guys. Awesome. I think we just have 2 more. 113. No, we have 3 more. Sorry, I can't see it all laid out in my book. So 3 more to go. Hopefully this is getting easier, making a little bit more sense. Okay, looking at 113. This is one where cellos and violas are using their C string, and they have to shift, but violins, you get to do the whole thing in first position. So violins kind of luck out. I'm going to have to play at the violin mic because I don't have a C string. But if we just talk about it for a second here, cellos and violas, you have, let's see, an E flat, and then a D, and then you go up to the E flat. Okay, so again, half step shift from your first finger D up to an E flat. Okay, so I'm playing it an octave higher, but you should be able to make this match with your C string notes an octave lower. So here we go. Good, and hopefully violins, you caught on that one. You can't play open A. You needed a low four instead of your open A string. 114, we're in the key of D minor. So we have B flats in there. And again, this is another one where violins, you're off the hook from having to shift. You're in first position the whole time. That's because our cellos and violas are shifting on their C string. Violas, you go to second position, cellos to third extended, but we're going from, let's see here, we have D, E, and then up to an F natural. So there's your half step right there. So here's what this will sound like, 114. And last but not least, 115. Oh, they're making us end on a tough note with three flats: B flat, E flat, A flat in the key of E flat major. Again, violins, no shifting, but make sure you don't play open A. And cellos and violas, you are on your C string. Okay, cellos, you shift first. You shift in the second measure to third position. Violas, if you check out your shift, you're going from, let me see here, the G, and then you're going with your fourth finger, and then you're going up a half step to the A flat. So it is a half step shift with your pinky. We did that with another exercise, I think, from an A to a B flat. We did that a little bit earlier. Everyone had a chance to try that. So here is 115, starting on an E flat. So I hope this stuff is getting a little bit easier as we go through it. I know it is tough. Remember, you could always have a tuner out in front of you to kind of help with these notes, especially when the key changes every single exercise. Let me know if you have any questions, but I look forward to seeing what you do with this.